have a couple members of Mr. Big here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Eric, Paul, nice to have you gentlemen here.
Erica.
Erica, yes, good name. You're missing the A, but aside from that, give me a little brief history of the band.
Let's see, the history of the band, we've been together about 3 years. Well, I think it all started with
Billy Sheehan.
Billy Sheehan, our bass player.
Yeah, Billy called me up about 3 years ago and wanted to start a band after being with David Lee Roth for, the Eat 'Em and Smile tour, and just really got, just wanted to be in a band situation. Didn't want to be a side guy anymore. Called me up, said, Eric, I got the greatest guitar player in the world here, or he thinks so, and I think so now too, Paul Gilbert. And then, so I passed the baton to Paul Gilbert, and you move on.
And then we had to find a drummer, so we got Pat Torpey, the, what did we used to call him, our secret weapon.
Secret weapon, right.
Because he sings.
Yeah, he sings excellent. I thank God for Pat Torpey every night for me.
Take it, Pat! Ah. But we spent about 6 months just writing songs and trying to come up with a name and doing all the stuff that bands do when they get together. And then we did our first record, released that, toured the States, a little bit of Canada, did Japan. We actually did the whole tour with Rush, which was really cool. And then went back in the studio, did our next record, which is the one that's out now, called Lean Into It.
Whew, I'm tired already.
And we started touring again on April 25th. We went over to Edinburgh, Scotland, did all the UK, went through Europe, came back here, did a tour with the Scorpions and Great White. And we're doing a few winger shows right now. We're doing one tonight. And then we do some more headlining stuff, go to Japan, go back to Europe. The never-ending tour never ends.
And you love it or it makes you tired?
Both.
Yeah. Yeah. That's all I got to say. No, I love it. I just, it's just better to keep working.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
How old are you?
I'm 24.
And when you joined this band, you were what, 21?
21, 22, somewhere in there.
And you were called the Guitar Whiz back when you were 21. So tell me about your experience playing guitar and when you first started and how you learned so quickly.
I started playing guitar when I was 9 years old. And
Daddy bought you a guitar?
actually, I had a guitar since I was about 5. And I took some lessons when I was 6 and gave up because it was really boring. And I tried again when I was 9. I started playing by ear and just learning Led Zeppelin songs and stuff. And
When you were 9, you were playing Led Zeppelin songs?
well, I was attempting to play Led Zeppelin songs. And finally, I'd played a couple of years. Ever since I was 11, I was in bands. I finally got an electric guitar, a little amp. It was to plug, 5 guitars and a microphone all into this little Fender amp and play talent shows and that sort of thing. But just so much fun. I've been doing it ever since then.
And yourself, you've been described vocally as a mixture between Gladys Knight and Paul Rogers from Bad Company. So that's an interesting combination.
I've always been a real soulful singer. I started out in 1983. You're not going to ask me how old I am, are you?
I can't guess at all. How old are you?
30.
Oh, same age as me.
All right, good. Well, started out in '83. I had an album called Sucker for a Pretty Face. And it was a pop rock and roll band. It was called the Eric Martin Band. And then went on to, I was on Capitol Records for a while as an R&B solo artist. So there's brown eyes behind these green eyes. Been singing soul for a long time. And just, I'm doing the same thing I did when I was 18 years old with Mr. Big. I mean, Mr. Big is it's a hard rock and roll band, but it still has the blues and soul spirit,
I understand that blues is a big, big component of the band and where y'all came from. Have you done research into the blues? Do you have any newfound heroes from way back when now?
Roots music. Paul's 24 years old, but he plays the blues like he's lived them,
Well, I've suffered a lot,
Yeah.
Done a lot of suffering. And actually, the records I grew up with were my parents' records, and they had a lot of Muddy Waters, B.B. King, and the Stones and Beatles, which are sort of second-generation blues stuff. And it's a big ingredient of rock and roll, so you can't help but have a little of it stuck in there somewhere.
Yeah. Describe to me a normal touring day. What's it like being on the road with you guys?
Well,
you get up and you decide.
Where the hell are you?
Yeah, where am I, and why do I have this bus driver? And
we have a bus right now. I mean, I hope Charlie's not watching. But it's kind of like a hayride, But lately it's been really hot. you know, outside the weather. But yeah, you just wake up in the morning and
Figure out where you are.
figure out where you are.
Figure out what time you go on. Figure out what's for lunch.
Is it all provided for you? All the food?
Sometimes.
You just have to find it.
Sometimes. It's like one big long, for us, it's like a long camping trip, you know.
That's not
Summer
bad.
camp with a really cool, you know,
And-
really cool blaster. Yeah.
And here are the Boy Scouts sitting in front of me.
That's right. We finally learned how to make fire.
Quest for fire.
Tell me about the album title. What is it referring to?
Lean into it. Well, there's a lot of different applications to lean into it, but I guess the main thing is sort of if you've got a choice of directions, don't go in the middle. Choose one and lean into it. You know, whenever you compromise stuff, it just ends up being watered down.
No surrender.
And I was reading that you were studying or study vocal techniques. You have a tape that you take on the road with you?
Yeah, well, I did vocal lessons, you know, like 5 years ago. And then I stopped and I found out, geez, I really need to get back into the swing of things. And the whole band, we take vocal lessons from this lady named Gloria Rush in Los Angeles. We're addicted to that Rush.
That's right.
And
We open up for them, we take vocal lessons
that's
from them.
right. I can't get away from it. But yeah, we do it. I have a tape on the bus.
I'm dying to know. Show me a couple of these vocal lessons.
Well, they're kind of,
Well, there's
they're kind of
everybody in the
oriental
band is
thing
a
here.
different one. Like Billy has the high scream,
Yeah.
where he just goes like for about a half an hour, you know, and then like I do the real low one. I always
do you
sound
do?
like I'm like praising Allahs, and I'm like
Let's hear it.
ah for like hours.
Why do you have to do that one?
I don't really know. It's just
I do.
it sort of mellows me out, you know, gives me a yoga kind of thing before this.
And why do you think
I'll tell you why that is. If you sing really low and like, you know, an hour a day, it stretches your voice out so you can sing higher. So singers out there, you know, who are going, yeah, come up here on the show, let us scream it out, you know, it doesn't work.
So, and what kind of things
What
do you
kind
have
of
to do?
Now that I've blown my voice out, it's just intervals, like,
Scales up. And
nah, kind of stuff.
Can you
And
read music?
Paul reads music, he tells me. No,
I read him bedtime stories. C A D
What are
F
those
sharp.
spiders on the paper there?
What's the future for the band?
More tunes, more tours, more fun, more better riders.
Much fun.
Much fun.
What better riders? Is that what you said?
Well,
Writers or rider on the tour?
A rider is what you like give to the promoter, and it's what you want backstage. You know,
So
you
what
get-
haven't you got that you want to get?
Well, I want more
Carrots.
More carrots. Right now we have 10 pounds of carrots in the rider. I want 15 pounds of
Well,
carrots in the
you're
rider.
gonna have to explain that.
Plus
please.
celery and radishes.
What's the
explain it.
fascination with carrots, please?
Well, we bring a juicer out on the road, and make like the most disgusting vegetable juices imaginable, but they're great.
No, that's not very rock and roll, is it?
Oh, it
Well, you
keeps
have to balance
keeps you
yourself
standing
out.
up.
Yeah, you have to be able to like stand up so you can deal with the other rock and roll stuff, and you know, average yourself out.
Yeah, so you get the like tequila bottle with the carrot juice in it, go, yeah, party.
Oh, well, that sounds more like it. Ah, that's a Mr. Big that I expected to meet. Good.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll let you go. We have to get to another edition of Clip Trip, which is world music.
All
If you
right.
want to watch the show, it's up in about 10 minutes' time.
We live there,
we
the
will
world.
play Mr. Big. Tell me about this video first.
This is Green Tin and 60s Mind. It's a challenge to DJs and VJs throughout the universe to see if they can pronounce such a complicated song title. And it's basically sort of a 60s influenced 90s tune.
Sounds great. Mr. Big on Much.